Let's consider a t-distribution with 4 degrees of freedom. Suppose we're interested in finding the t-value such that the probability that you're greater than that value is 0.025. So the area under the curve right here is 0.025. Then all we need to do, since we have a t-distribution with 4 degrees of freedom, is to find the row that corresponds to 4 degrees of freedom and find the column that's headed by t sub 0.025 and find the point where those two places intersect, and we see that t sub 0.025 for the t-distribution with 4 degrees of freedom is 2.776. Okay, so that was an example in which we were looking for a t-value given a certain probability. Now let's take a case, let's say, where we have a t-distribution with 6 degrees of freedom, and suppose we're interested in finding the probability that t is between negative 1.44 and positive 3.143. Well, that equals the probability that t is less than 3.143 minus the probability that t is less than negative 1.44. Okay, so now those are cumulative probabilities, so we theoretically should be able to find the probabilities using the t-table. But if you look inside the t-table here, you find no t-values that are negative, and we have a negative value here. So what we're going to need to do is take advantage of the symmetry of the t-distribution. That is going to be, we're still going to find the probability that t is less than 3.143 minus, now instead of the probability that t is less than negative 1.44, we're going to find the probability that t is greater than 1.44. Okay, so now it's just a matter of looking those values up in the table. Find the row for the distribution with 6 degrees of freedom, and then look across until we find 3.143 is 0.99 minus, and then look across until you find 1.44, and in this case we're looking for the probability that we are actually greater than 1.44, so we don't want the cumulative probability but rather the upper probability of 0.10. So we get 0.99 minus 0.10 is 0.89. Okay, so in this example we've used the t-table once to find t-value and wants to find probabilities associated with t-values.